elephant genocide that's happening over this useless commodity. And we're not crying wolf this time. This is not a measure to raise money for conservation organizations. This is something we have to do as quickly as possible, get this off the table or we're going to lose them all. But what I'm doing in these pictures, you see every single elephant is being kind of aggressive or afraid. So over those years, I made the pictures like this. I go out at dawn in the canoe, and you have these exciting encounters. But a lot of it was made with camera traps. And this elephant is taking its own picture. We knew there was an elephant trail that crossed that river, and elephants like to have good solid ground because we want to follow their trails, and we have to cross the swamp because we know it's going to be solid ground. So I put a camera trap, which is an invisible beam. When this elephant rises up, it takes his picture. And this is the best frame we got in the 3 months that camera was there. And all the rest of these, I put a camera trap on some bones that I saw near the beach in this elephant visitor. So all these pictures, I'm trying to paint a photograph of elephants, but there's no interaction. I don't know anything about elephant behavior at this time. They're exciting characters in the landscape that I'm trying to bring to the audience. And we spent 15 years in that region. We did a book, 13 parks were created, and forest elephants was kind of the star of what we're doing. On that day, I'm literally about a mile down the beach, and I looked at my watch. I said, man, if an elephant comes through today. So Mike and I have kind of a divorce. He's a tough person to get along with. And we don't talk for a long time, and he says, look, Nick, I found a place in Chad where there's herds of 1,000 elephants. You got to come. So we go to a place called Zakama in Chad. It's in southern Chad. At the turn of the century, there were 200,000 elephants there. And the Chadian elephant looks kind of like a bulldog for an elephant. They're stocky. And if you see the old pictures, it's huge ivory, big giant ivory. Well, what we're after, though, is an ecosystem story. That's why Chris sends me. We don't even know there's an ivory crisis. But all we find while we're there is dead elephant after dead elephant. And there's a coup d'etat happens, and it's happening in the capital. But we're distracted in the park, and elephants die in the park. These guys are doing an investigation. And we switch our story to a different kind of story. There were 4,000 elephants when I was there in 2005. It dropped to 400. Just recently, with African Parks, they're an organization that takes over war-torn parks and runs them like a business carefully. These lions are killing young elephants because the structure's broken. The whole social structure of all these elephants is broken down. Normally, elephants would defend themselves against lions, but in this place, it's all broken, and they're completely scared. Now, that's what I was seeing when I'm sitting trying to photograph them, and that's the herd of 1,000 that became our signature photograph. But what I saw that evening is that there was one old matriarch leading all those families. And we realized this is not a natural history thing, this is fear. They've got the wisest old lady to lead them out of the park where they can find forage. And she's supposed to be taking them to a safe place where there could be water. But there were machine guns waiting that night when they left the park. So 20 of these elephants were killed that night. And what I want to make clear, though, the habitat is still perfectly intact. So there's not very many people out there, so it's not an elephant-human conflict over land. This is purely about ivory. And it's the Janjaweed doing the killing in this part of Africa. And they're really good on horseback. They killed an elephant with Mike, with the guards on horseback, within earshot of us, and we still couldn't catch them. So what came of this story, we raised a lot of money. We got an airplane for the park. Guards got better equipped. But still, these guys they're just too good. But right now, it's turned around, and they've had the first babies born in the last few years in Zakama. But it takes an incredible diligence to do this. And these are, park guards are generally not soldiers. They're park guards. But here they've had to become really incredible soldiers. At one point, even, they attacked the ivory store.
And we collared this one elephant, who we named Annie, on the 23rd of May.
The voice you hear is mine and my face.
She's given up information that's unbelievable. She tells us that when she leaves the park, she heads straight for this certain area of good vegetation. She also got out there and realized these rains are fake rains. They came too early. So she went back to the park and waited till the real rains had come. She runs all night. But she gets within a kilometer of a road and she waits all day till nightfall, and then she crosses the road and she goes on up. So she's telling us, hey, I'm thinking about this whole thing. I know where I'm going. I know what trees I'm looking for to eat, and I know where the roads are.
So over about a 3-month period, Annie traveled over 1,000 miles. That's an amazing statistic.
But her collar stopped. And we think, oh no. And she's been shot.
When Mike went out to localize where she'd been shot at, they shot at his airplane. But that one elephant told us a lot. You know, you can use that information to try to, now these elephants are essentially escorted when they leave, like African parks. It's sometimes park boundaries, certainly, no, sometimes, a lot of times, park boundaries were not written with my animals' migrations in mind. And elephants need to move. So this is the bull that was shot within earshot.